Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I was checking around a bit and I've noticed that recently I'm not posting that much on YouTube anymore. The main reason for that obviously is my Twitch channel over here, twitch.tv/RaceMasterDave. That is where I'm active lately. That means that 4, 5, 6 hour streams during the week, at the weekends sometimes 9 or 8 hours, something in that order. Different games, not so much focused on one game anymore, which was more or less the case on the YouTube channel. That's also the reason why we don't post that many videos on YouTube anymore, because back in the day when we started, we were focusing on the Crew 1. It was only the Crew 1. That's of course also in a way how we built up the YouTube channel, but we had a group of 10, 12 people around, and they were playing on a daily basis, at least 5 or 6, 7 of them online every day. And every day we played for hours, the Crew 1, trying to get into the top 10, top 5 overall up summits and things like that. That was because we were focusing on that one game. Meantime, we are a couple of years later, we have the Crew 2 now, sort of similar style, also sort of similar map. It has been graphically updated. There has been some changes because we have boats now, so a few roads have disappeared from the map, has been replaced with some rivers because, you know, we have the boats, we need to get over there and things like that. But none of us feel the urge or the need to focus on that one game and keep playing that day in, day out. Also because of some devs' decisions that they have made over time. It's an open world game, it's a driver game, it's a racing game. There should be some aspect of competition, which they call the summit. It's not really competition. And that has to do with the fact that over time they sort of switched it up and they made it more into a casual and kids game than it's actually a driving and racing game. You can still have some fun there with your friends and all that kind of stuff, but there's not really a competition going. The only competition that is going on the top of the summit leaderboards are some cheaters. People that are pressing Alt-Tab whenever it suits them, because sort of like Alt-Enter in the Crew 1, it gives you a higher score and faster times. You have people messing around with clutch and shifting, and they have it macroed, and that is all fast forwarded to the devs. They haven't done much about it. The checkpoints are still a mess. They are in no man's land in most of the cases. Some of the resets has been fixed, the back on track cutting, or whatever you want to call it. They have been fixed, others have not been fixed. People find some new cuts here and there. It's still the same in a way. It's like, it's not really competitive. The only thing that's competitive is the cheaters, and they are only fooling themselves because everybody knows that they are doing it. You have people like Vionix and Frankenstein, and they are constantly pressing Alt-Tab. If you see those people show up at the top of the leaderboard, then you already know something is up with that track, and that makes it ridiculous. That is, of course, it starts by the fact that they do not fix that shit. If they get that back on track out of the summits, for instance, then they can't use it to cut tracks. You also don't need it. In a summit, you do an event, time attack or whatever, from A to B. If you make a mistake, you start again, because if you made a mistake, that means that you're going to have a bad time anyway. So you restart that game. You don't need back on track in a summit. They refuse to remove it. We do not want it removed from the game. We understand that in free roam, people might generally make mistakes and they need to go back on track. That's all fine. But at least get it out of the summit, which is supposed to be the competition. That thing should not be in there. The Alt-Tab thing, that should be fixed. That macro clutching, that should be fixed. As long as it's not fixed, you don't talk about competition, then it's just a casual weekly gathering. That is at the moment what the summit is. As a competitive player, yeah, we can't find the time or even the motivation to go in there every day and try to do something, because it's as pointless as hell. That means for that game, when it comes to the Crew 1, 1 or 2 times a week we play it. Mainly on Wednesday we do the summit. Occasionally, sometimes on my second driver, on Friday or Saturday, I might stream a bit of the crew with the wheel, just having some fun. The game is also not developed for wheel. It's purely developed for controller. You can even see that in the menu. If you go into key mapping, you find things like L3 and R3 and whatnot. No explanation whatsoever. You don't even know what it does. That is purely controller buttons that they even put in there. You find it on some wheels, but on other wheels, like on my wheel, I don't have an R3 or an L3, so I just have some colored buttons and that's it. On a keyboard, you don't have L3 or R3, it doesn't mean anything. The game is developed for controller, it's developed for console, it is capped at 60 FPS, again, because of consoles. So yeah, as a PC player, a bit of a competitive player, yeah, you can't really find your competition in there anymore. It's all about casual and doing crazy stuff. The more crazy the, like the air nitro that they brought in. They're messing around with things that nobody ever complained about, like the planes. Planes were kinda okay, they suddenly started messing with the rudders. Those things do not steer anymore, or slow as hell. Bikes were driving pretty okay. They started messing with the suspension of the motocross because for cinematic reasons, then they could do twisty turns and drifting and all that kind of stuff. That's all fine. The only problem is it messed every single suspension of the whole bike. So yeah, bikes are impossible to drive. With a wheel, they're completely impossible. You have to drive them as a truck because the bikes do not lean with a wheel. So yeah, it's made for controller and it works fine on controller. On a wheel you have some issues, on a keyboard you have some issues. You cannot barely drive with a dragster on a keyboard. With a wheel on the other hand, yeah, you can have a drink and a cigarette at the same time and you just drive with 2 fingers with 1 hand with that dragster and that thing keeps going at 600 kilometers an hour. So yeah, let's say we'll stick to it on a Wednesday, do the summits, have a look around on that thing and then we go from there. And then we have November 25th, the Motorflix update, messing around a bit with the cups. Not something we were waiting on. Some people will be very happy with that, I'm guessing, because it's in the game. More than likely they will not be happy with how it's implemented in the game, because it will not be in free roam, which is a good thing. Competitives do not want it in free roam. Cruisers do not want it in free roam. The only people who want to mess around in free roam is the kids and the casuals. You can, of course, you can take those police cars. It's there might be some new cars, but there might also be some existing cars who just get police livery, and you can take them out. You will have sirens and whatnot. You can have around some fun with it, but there will be no events in free roam. Those you will be able to find in activities. So it's sort of like events. That also means they come up with some sort of season structure, a bit of a copycat of Forza, I'm assuming. They will have, I think, 3 seasons to start with in year 1, or in year 3 of the game, but year 1 of the season structure. Every 4 months there will be a season. Every season there will be 2 episodes. So each of the episodes will be 2 months, and each episode will have 8 or 9 events, depending on the number of weeks that there are in 2 months. That means we're more than likely gonna get a new event every week, and I'm assuming they will introduce that in the summit, so that thing will come sort of like the mood events. They were sort of introduced in the summit, and then later you can find it in activities to play it in there, and that sort of will be the similar thing with that Motorflix thing, I think. It is new content, it's something to mess around with. As a competitive or as a cruiser, people will not be super excited about it. They will just play it and go with the flow to get the thing checked, and that's probably never touch it again. The kids and the casuals, they can play around with it, so it's fine. For me, it's fine because it's in activities. It's sort of like Demolition Derby. If you like it, you can go to the arena and play it. If Monster Truck, the same story. You go to the arena. If you don't want anything to do with it, you just stay away with it. It's the same with those police things. You will find it in activities. You can always go there to play it by yourself or with your crew. If you don't want anything to do with it, you just leave it be. That's fine. It's not like gonna be like in Calling All Units where people hit a crate and everybody's in a police chase. Although you don't want, that's not gonna happen. So That might be a disappointment for some people out there, but for the majority of competitives and cruisers, that is actually good news, so that they don't need to mess around with if they don't want to. That's what it comes down to for the crew. We'll stick to it on Wednesdays. Occasionally you might see me stream it on another day, but definitely not on a daily basis. Of course, that also means I'm streaming it 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. It's not that easy to quickly make a video of 10 minutes of an 8-hour stream. That makes no sense. So you can always find the video afterwards. If as soon as my stream stops, you can always check that video out there on Twitch. It will be available for another 2 weeks, so you can always check it out there. What else are we playing is a bit of everything at the moment. Let's have a look. What do we have here? Let's have a look. What have I installed? Let's put it that way. Yeah, Dirt 3, Dirt 4 I have uninstalled meanwhile, because that is arcade style, not really my thing. I had a look on Dirt 5, yeah, I'm sorry to say so, but again, kids and casuals, it's a playground structure, yeah. I'm assuming there will be a public for that. I'm just not amongst those people. I'm more of a bit of a, let's say, more towards the Simcade or even Sim side than the arcades. So if you go Dirt 3, Dirt 4, Dirt 5, that's more arcade style. On the other hand, you have Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2.0, which is more Simcade, Sim style. That's more my thing. I bought Dirt Rally 2.0, meanwhile, not so long ago. And meanwhile, I played about 125 hours plus. So that is something we are definitely streaming. You have some daily challenges there, you have some weekly challenges. So there's always something to play. We also sometimes make a group. A few of us have it. We make a little group and we just do some rallycross or some rally amongst each other in some sort of private thing. Works pretty good. Have some fun there. So that is something that we are streaming on the other days. We have like Wednesday the crew, but then the other days it's a bit of a mix of games. Whatever we feel like, depending a bit on who's around, what do they want to play. So that is something that we are playing. Yeah, the crew 2, obviously, when it comes to Steam, we have all the achievements. Almost 1700 hours into it. With my Steam driver, but I also have a Uplay driver, which adds another couple of 100 hours probably. We have Assetto Corsa Competizione. Played about 100 hours recently. Don't have much time to play it, but we will still be playing it, obviously. So we will mix it in there somewhere some of the days when we feel like playing that. Formula 1, yeah, I don't know. About 2019, we tested it out a bit. A couple of us bought it. We played around a bit in that, but then it was July 2020, then the new one came out, and then we bought that, and we didn't play 2019 anymore. And the same sort of goes for 2020. Yeah, this is also something, it comes back every year, not much changes. You have some sort of campaign career to go through. A lot of people are doing that in single player. They go through the career, do the My Team thing or so, and once they have done that, yeah, that's it. Then they move on and they stop playing. Although you can go online and you can even go esports if you really want to get competitive or so, but it's not happening much anymore. Although our idea was to make some sort of league with, or some sort of little group where we could play with. It's not really happening. Many people already stopped playing it. They did the career and they stopped it, and then so we're sort of doing that more in Dirt Rally now. Sometimes in the weekend we put a group together and we just race a little bit. Euro Truck, sort of waiting on Iberia, which probably will come towards the end of this month, beginning of next month. Spain and Portugal will be added to the map. Then we will have a look at that and play a bit. This is one of those games where things happen every couple of months. We get a free update. We get some DLC at the end of the year with a map expansion. This game is running for 7-8 years. It's one of those games, you can play it and then you can just leave it be for a few weeks or months even, and then you come back and Not much has changed. You can always do transports, you can always drive. It's a relaxing drive more obviously than anything else, but it is fun to play, and it keeps, although it's 6, 7, 8 years old, it keeps being up to date, because they, even the older maps, they keep updating and upgrading them. Which is not a bad structure in a way. Instead of things like Forza or so, which come out with or Need for Speed, which come out with a new title every 2 years. These guys do not make Euro Truck Simulator 3 or 4 or 5. They just keep it on 2, and they upgrade that thing and expand it and update the older maps, and pretty good structure that they have going on there. Even though it's 7, 8 year old, it has a pretty large community with daily players. So that is something we will have a look at as well. And that's sort of what it is when it comes to Steam games. At the moment, what I have installed. I had WRC 7. I'm not a fan of these exclusive deals with Epics or whatever. So I didn't buy 8, which was even not available. 8 was available for 1 year only on Epic. And then now it is available on Steam. You can buy it on Steam now, which is kind of pointless because WRC 9 is already out. Again, 1 year exclusive on Epic. Exclusive deals, they can stop it. It is, some sort of simcade, I guess. It's not really sim, it's more arcade as well, so it is, nah. When it comes to rallying, for me, it's Dirt Rally series is better than the WRC series, and definitely better than the arcade Dirt 4, 5 series. So we'll stick, when it comes to rallying, we'll stick to Dirt Rally at the moment. That's sort of it when it comes to racing games. Need for Speed Heat, I still have it on my hard disk. Haven't touched it for a year. That game is a joke, basically. As was the one before that, Payback. The one before that was only nighttime. So yeah, I have all these. I have Pro Street, I have Shift, I have Hot Pursuit. I didn't buy The Run, I didn't buy Rivals. I played the demo of 2015, didn't like it very much, so I skipped it. I did pay and play Payback and also in Heat. They were both a joke in my opinion. Now this year they've done some sort of remastered version of the 2010 Hot Pursuit that is available at the moment. And next year we are 2021, they probably come up with a new title. But if it's going to be the same style as Payback and Heat, it's not going to work very well. Some people might claim that it's a good series. They are not. They lost the plot somewhere, I don't know. Somewhere in Underground Most Wanted, I think, back in those days. That's sort of where the good Need for Speed games were around, and they lost the plot somewhere and they haven't found it back yet. So yeah, every 2 years you have some sort of title, and every 2 years it's a bunch of hype, and afterwards a bunch of disappointment because it's not great. Xbox games, as you can see, completely empty here. I have removed recently Forza Horizon 4 from my hard disk because don't have the time for it. I was playing it like 5 or 10 minutes a week just to get the new cars, and then I thought it's completely stupid. It takes up a lot of space in your, relatively a lot of space on your hard disk for 5-10 minutes a week to get the new car, and that's it. Other than that, you don't play it. Then you just stop playing it. With the new consoles, Forza Motorsport 8 will be released very shortly afterwards. And that means that somewhere next year, probably September or October, we're going to get Forza Horizon 5. What that's going to be, probably the same structure again. Festival structure, some other location, other than that, same cars from Forza Horizon 4 and 5 that will be re-implemented. I don't know, we'll see when it is there, but there's a good chance I don't even buy it because 3 was a bit of, was something new for me. I didn't play the Horizon series before, so 3 was something new. 4 was already feeling to me very repetitive on a very small map. If you're used to the big Crew 2 map, then those Forza maps are a bit of a joke. Same goes for Need for Speed. So yeah, you play those races, you go through it, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Played a month intensively in Forza Horizon 4. We went through all the races, we did everything we could, and then we're sort of, yeah, that was sort of game over for me. It was nothing new, it was nothing to do. at least not the things that we wanted to do. PvP structure, the rank system was not that great, if not to say not good at all. Afterwards they updated it, but that was way too late. People already stopped playing the multiplayer, and then they updated the rank system, which was way too late. Now you can get, you can sort of grind it out and you can just become a Grandmaster. While in the beginning you could only gain points if you won against higher ranked players, and that was a problem. The higher ranked players were not around anymore, so you couldn't meet them, you couldn't gain any points, and you were sort of stuck in the middle league, League 10, League 9 or something, and you were stuck there. You couldn't get any higher because you didn't meet any higher ranked players. Then they decided to update that system, and then they recounted your rank, whatever, based on the number of podiums you did or so beforehand. I was sort of stuck. I think I was stuck in the team at League 10 and in the solo at League 9 or so. Then they did that recalculation, and then I had in one thing I had League 4, and in the other one I had League 2. So I could easily grind that out to get to League 1 and Grandmaster, but I didn't bother with it. It was too late, as I said. Majority of people were not playing anymore. And now Grandmaster doesn't mean anything anymore because you can just grind it out. Even if you can't drive, you can just grind it out and you still become the Grandmaster, which makes no sense if you can't drive a car. Sort of like in the crew with the bronze, silver, gold, platinum system. There are some platinum drivers who can't even take a corner, but they grinded it out in Demolition Derby or so, and they also have platinum rank. Makes no sense. All kind of those weird system rank that makes no sense. But it's apparently it seems to be in general for that kind of games. It seems to be the new style. It's all casual and for kids and have fun and nothing too serious anymore. Yeah, that's fine if they want to do it like that. But then they're gonna lose cruisers. They're gonna lose competitive players. They will play it, put a bit, and then they move on to the next game. And that's sort of what happened also with our group. We are still playing it, but not as intensively as in the crew 1, for instance, because of changes they made. Driving racing, that's sort of it. What else do we throw out there when we are streaming is some shooters. We have the more hardcore style, is Escape from Tarkov. At the moment we're sort of waiting on a new wipe. That game is still early access. There are about 12-13 maps that they want to develop. I think we have 7 or 8 in the game now. Although it is early access, you can buy it, I think 4 or 5 different versions that you can buy. We bought the highest one available. Yeah, although it's early access, it doesn't come cheap. I think it's about 140 euros that I paid. It's about 100 and something, I think it's 110 euros plus the taxes depending on the country that you are, or $110 plus taxes. So yeah, for me it came to 135, I think, for the Edge of Darkness edition, and we play that. But the thing is, yeah, once you go in there, you have a couple of hours in and you still haven't done much yet. So that's a game you really need to focus on, and this is like a game, if you really like it, you should go in there and just stick to that. That's like some sort of 1 or maybe 2 game title thing that like you concentrate during a certain couple of weeks only on that game, and then you can make progress in it. It's not something like, oh, let's quickly or play tonight, let's play some EFT, and then you don't touch it for a week, then you're like way behind compared to the rest. So we're sort of waiting on the new update, which probably will be the Streets of Tarkov. So it's like another map that is going to be added to it. And then there will also be a wipe, which means that everybody goes back to level 1. And then you can sort of similar with new players, sort of. Then it's like everybody on an equal level in a way. Although it's a lot about experience and it's a lot about knowledge, which you have to learn. So we need to spend lots of time in there. It's hardcore in such a way that yeah, you don't have a map or a mini map or whatever. You have wiki pages with lots of information. You have a bunch of YouTubers out there or Twitch streamers, people like Pestily, they know the game inside out. They have very good guides, but you need to spend time on it, either by playing it or by checking it out on the wiki or by watching some of those videos and then try to combine that all. That's how you get your knowledge, that's how you get your experience. And then if you stick to it, and that's already a problem for some people, but if you stick to it, you're going to have a lot of fun in that game. But you do need the experience and the knowledge. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot that's coming at you. So you need to put yourself to it, to like stick to it and learn more and more about the game, and then it becomes a really fun game. It's pretty hardcore though. If you want more casual style, then you end up with the Call of Duties, where you just have some fun, throw in there, shoot some people. If they kill you, yeah, then you're dead, fine. You come back, either you go to Gulag or you respawn or whatever. You don't lose anything. That's the other thing in Escape from Tarkov. If you die, you lose everything that you were carrying. So that's a bit of a risk factor in there. There's no risk factor in the Call of Duty games, of course. You can upgrade your weapons. Once they're upgraded, they are there forever to stay. You can make different loadouts. We have Warzone. Around that is sort of, at the moment, it is linked to Modern Warfare, which was like last year's game in a way, and it's like the multiplayer with all kind of different small maps, 3 versus 3, 6 versus 6, 12 versus 12. It's a quick way to upgrade your weapons and all that kind of stuff. Personally, I don't even have Warfare, but then they sort of connect all those small maps into one big map, and that is what Warzone is. Warzone is a free-to-play game. And they sort of connected, and it's sort of connected to Modern Warfare. Just different modes, different playlists that you can play there, all on that big map. Some side events happening with some intel missions. We had the pawntakespawn.com website puzzle thing to go through. There are still some mysteries. There is in Bunker 11, you have bunkers where you need to get codes. Need to pick up some Russian phones, decipher some codes, pick up some phones on the map here and there, and then eventually you can open Bunker 11. If you go in there, there's a bomb in there. On the other hand, you have Bunker 10 on the other side of the map, where there is a nuke. Probably at one point or another, that bomb from Bunker 11 needs to be transported to Bunker 10. Put it in the nuke, that nuke will be detonated, and more than likely it will wipe out the whole map. That means, there is nothing to play anymore. Now, of course there is. Because you have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Release in about 24 hours, I think. You can see the map over here. November 12th, 9 p.m. Western time. The west coast of America. Pacific time. Midnight in Quebec and Florida and all East Coast. And then November 13, it's all the same obviously, but yeah, if it's 9 p.m. on November 12th, then it's 5 a.m. in the UK, 6 a.m. in Central Europe. That's when Black Ops Cold War will be released. As you can read here, you have purchased this game. Indeed, I bought Black Ops Cold Wars, so we will be streaming that from Friday on. Go a bit through the campaign, do some multiplayer, upgrade some weapons. From what I hear, once you have unlocked those weapons, you can also use them in Warzone. So you go through that campaign here in this thing, we play some multiplayer, we upgrade some weapons, play around a bit, try to figure out some settings and stuff like that. Towards December 10th, and that is when the first season or the first battle pass will start in Cold War. And at that same time, Warzone will also have some things happening. There are some rumors about an island, more than likely it will be Alcatraz, which will be added to the map, or something similar. That we can play around on, and then it goes on till at this moment it's already linked. There was an update yesterday in Warzone, about 30 gigs I think it was. We had these two fractions within the operators. Those fractions are gone now. It's like you have the Modern Warfare operators you see there. So it's like one big bunch of operators now linked to Modern Warfare. Next to that will more than likely come the Black Ops Cold War operators, which you can also use in Warzone. You can also use the weapons in there. It's all going to be linked some way or another. And at the moment, Warzone is more or less linked to that Warzone, to the Warfare, different maps, and that is going to be linked to the Cold War after all. And that will more than likely happen somewhere in March. In March, we have 1 year of Warzone. And in the meantime, we probably do all kind of stuff. with that bomb and put it in the nuke and then try to do some intel or so, and we get some, I don't know, maybe we get some detonation codes somewhere or another to detonate that nuke, and that nuke will wipe out the whole map, and we'll get a new map, in other words, Warzone Season 2. And then we will have a map which will be linked to the Cold War. So we have all these Cold War maps, they're going to link them together, and that will be the new Warzone map. Sort of like they did in Fortnite with different seasons. It will be more or less the same here, I guess. At the moment, Warzone is still linked to Warfare. From December on, we might have a little expansion there. And then in March, more than likely, we'll get a Warzone Cold War map, sort of. We will see how that goes. But so, everybody is going to be playing this weekend Black Ops Cold War, at least those who bought it. That is for sure, because the game comes out this weekend, more or less. It will be no different on my Twitch. We will also be playing. Upgrading weapons, see what we have around. Need to unlock attachments, which means you need to play a lot with those weapons to get those attachments unlocked and stuff like that. So that is sort of where we are now. Now, obviously, as I mentioned before, we are streaming, let's have a look, 6 hours and a half yesterday, the day before 8 hours, 9 hours and a half here in the weekend. I can't make 10-minute videos out of that. I also have real life, you know. I'm living by myself in an apartment. If I want food, I need to go to the shop and cook it and eat it and do the dishes afterwards and stuff like that. And the washing and the cleaning and the ironing. I don't have time next to streaming to mess around with making a 10-minute video from an 8-hour stream. So the YouTube is a bit less. I can export some of these, let's say, shorter. For instance, on Wednesday, if I do 1 or 2 hour stream about the Crew Summit, I could export those to YouTube. I will see what I would do with that. But making out those couple of minute videos from an 8-hour stream, it's basically impossible. We more or less moved to Twitch in a way, and that's where we're hanging out every day. So you can always look at it there. If I do the Crew 2 Summit, that video, you will be able to find it over here in the recent broadcasts. They will be available for 2 weeks. So if I stop on Wednesday, they will be available for the next 2 weeks. You can always check it out there. I will see what I'll do. I might export some of these Summit videos. I'm definitely not going to export the longer videos or streams from Twitch. That makes no sense. You know, if you're streaming it on Twitch, if people want to rewatch it, they can rewatch it for 2 weeks. But there's no sense in uploading a 9-hour stream to YouTube, because nobody's going to watch that. And I don't have time to edit it myself, nor do I make enough money to pay some editors to make 10-minute videos on YouTube. So occasionally I will post something on video, but the main channel at this moment is Twitch. That's where you will be able to find me. And we are playing the Crew 2, Dirt Rally 2.0, Cold War, and Warzone at the moment. Might throw in some Assetto Corsa or Euro Truck occasionally. That is at the moment where we are at. We bought quite some new games recently, so I think we're going to stop now a bit with buying games and just play them. That being said, you never know what is around the corner. Obviously, when the Motorflix is out, we'll have a look at it. Not too long, I think, because it's not my thing. So we're also not going to spend too much time on it. There's also not that much to tell about it. You know, once you've seen it, you've seen it. That's how it goes with some of those updates. There might be different events, but it's the same structure. It's like with calling all units. You know, once you saw that police stuff, you know how it worked. You could do different things with it, but it was all the same structure. I do not expect anything more from that Motorflix either. We will see. Obviously, it's not that Motorflix is not about cops only. It's about some episodes, and in each of these episodes can have a different team. They start with the police, probably for the first season. So that means episode number 1, the chase, and episode number 2 will come probably somewhere in January. 2 months normally for the next episode. And then we are going also somewhere towards March, where they will start season number 2. It could be that it's also related to Cups, but it also could be a completely different team. Nobody says that it's going to be a year of Cup stuff. That is not something we know for sure. The only thing we know is that it will start with season number 1 will be related to Cups, but what they do in season 2 and 3, we will see. That will be it for this one. A quick overview what we are messing around with. A bit of racing games, a bit of shooting games, and with some stuff happening with Black Ops being revealed tomorrow, or released, whatever you want to call it. We will be doing that over the weekend for sure. Throw in some Summit here and there, do some Dirt Rally here and there. That's what we are doing on the Twitch channel. You can always have a look over there if you want, guys. I will see you guys there. If not, when it comes to YouTube, we will see. I might throw in a video here and there if there's some news or something, but other than that, no. The main channel has become Twitch lately. I will see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.